Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about tips and tricks for mediums, especially if you are new, discovering that you have these abilities or realizing that you've had these abilities your entire life. I am here to tell you that even though it feels like a curse sometimes, it is a blessing, and with these tips I hope that I can help you. So let's get right into it. So the first thing you need to do is establish some kind of sense of physical comfort. So protection, I highly recommend you have a protection routine that you do every single day, whether it is a guided meditation that you find on YouTube or an audio or a video somewhere that maybe a practitioner that you really like has on their website or something. They're everywhere. So that's an option. Also, pendulum dowsing, that's what I do. A prayer or some kind of modality that resonates with you to establish a shield, basically, because like right now everything's like like on top of you as far as like external energies go from past people, but also living people, because basically to me a psychic medium who is connected to the other side is like a empath on steroids. So you feel everybody's everything, living or not. So to have a daily protection routine, you are establishing this boundary almost between you and your true self and like what is clearly other people's stuff. So that's the first thing. Another thing is veiling. So veiling is like a physical boundary or kind of layer that you can have between yourself and the outside world through a bandana or a hat or something that I used to do as a little kid back when there were no books, there were no resources, I did not have any mentors, like nobody to help me. I did this thing at night called the blanket tunnel, where I would like pile all my blankets like around my head, making sure there was no like open gaps back here. Like I would face my wall, I would like lay on my side, and then I would just leave a little hole for my face so I could breathe. That's not something I recommend in the long term because you shouldn't have to do that every single night to feel safe. It's just at night, especially if you are feeling those eyeballs on you, that's another thing that you could do that might help for a little bit. And so another thing I wanted to talk about is crystals, sigils, and symbols. So if you want to wear crystals for protection, black tourmaline, black obsidian, mahogany obsidian is really, really good. It's specifically for keeping like a distance between you and external energies. And a fairy cross or starolite, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, that to me is, and I left it at home, otherwise I would have shown it in this video, but it's a stone with a cross on it, or like a cross formation that's brown. And it's kind of hard to find. It's kind of rare, but I found it luckily for me. I was like, yes. To me, that is a Harry Potter cloak of invisibility, but for the spirit realm in the real world. So it's really, really cool. You can carry it on you, or you can have it in your space or next to your bed when you're sleeping at night. Having any of those crystals on you or in your space could be very helpful. Also, like I said, sigils and symbols. So there's a lot of different ways. You can make your own sigils. You can find some sigils online for protection if they resonate with you. Make sure you feel into it and that it feels right. With symbols, that could be a cross necklace. That could be a Merkaba star or Star of David or any other kind of symbol, an Ankh, an ancient Egyptian Ankh, whatever symbol of protection, establishment, solidness, divine presence that you want to have on you or in your space. So another thing I want to talk about is to cleanse your field and your space regularly. So once you have your protection and your, routine established with, maybe sigils in your home or crystals in your space or wearing them or whatever the case may be for you, I highly recommend that you cleanse your body and especially your space, your living space, your home, at least once a week. Whether it is with smoke or essential oil diffusing or sound or music, there are many different ways to cleanse. You can look that up, feel into what might resonate with you most and be most effective for you. That's very important. Because it keeps you clear, it keeps you clean, it keeps you clean. It keeps you clean and clear. Oh my goodness. Okay. So next step, very important. It might take you a couple years to master these two that I've talked about. I know that was the case for me. So take your time with it, relax, breathe. You're going to be okay. Having very solid, these two steps are crucial. And so once you feel you are ready, another thing to be working on is to assert your authority. So now at this point, you have your routines, you're cleansing regularly, you're feeling pretty good, you're feeling way better than you used to, right? To go even deeper into kind of shifting from like survival and tolerance into full on practice and like honing is to establish boundaries with the spirits that might come to you. This is something one of my mentors told me. He literally had a thing for a while where he had office hours. So I don't know. I don't think he specified if he had a sign or if he just said it to the spirits or how he kind of established this. But he told me that he has established office hours where like, hey, I am available between this time and this time, but no other time around that. This is when I'm available. And if you come to me outside of these hours, I absolutely cannot help you. So establishing some kind of boundaries, like, for example, something I used to say for a long time is nothing can come to me at night. Don't come to me while I'm sleeping. Don't wake me up. Don't give me nightmares. Don't do any of that stupid, crazy stuff. Come to me during the day when I'm actually like awake and feeling good. Because there's like no worse feeling. I've referenced this TikTok all the time, or like this, I don't know if it was on TikTok or where it was, but there's this guy and the caption is when you accidentally fall asleep on your back and he wakes up in the middle of the night and he looks to the corner of his room and he's like, oh my God. And then the next clip is like some weird thing, like doing some weird dance in the corner is like a shadow figure and he's like screaming at the end. There's nothing worse than that. So for me personally, that happened to me a lot. And so I had to kind of be like, hey guys, don't freaking do that. Nah. So whatever that looks like for you, establishing boundaries is very important. And so another thing is remembrance leads to fearlessness and power. God is not outside of you. We all come from source. We are all source. So being able to recognize that these things that are coming to you, you are 1,000 times more powerful than them. Vibrationally speaking, that is a fact. So remembering this and trying to embody this as much as possible, even when things are scary. I made a separate video about 3 shocking truths. 3 shocking truths about the paranormal. And one of them was, you can go watch that video if you want to, but I'll just reference it briefly. The scarier an entity is, the bigger cry for help. And so if you can sit and remember, like, hey, I am not this body. Hey, I am God. Like God is not outside of me. God is within me. That'll take you so far when doing this work and when having these encounters, because they literally cannot do anything to you. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, and the last thing, is practice. So practicing via written channeling, that's something I used to do, because when I would try to talk to spirits, it would go in one ear, out the other. There was like no retention whatsoever. So what I did was I used a guided a guided audio meditation that got me into like a trance state. And then in the presence of the spirit, I would like I would write down what they were saying. And then I could actually go back afterwards and read it. Eventually, it got to a point where I could write without being in a trance. And then after that, I could write and remember what I was writing. So I wouldn't have to go back and read it. I could just keep going back and forth with the spirit, almost like a dialogue. And then eventually, I used recordings, like audio recordings. I would talk back and forth with the spirit, record it, and then listen back on it later. And then eventually, I could just talk as if I was talking to a embodied, incarnated person. That was the progression for me. So think about what that could look like for you. Maybe it is writing, maybe it is the audio recording, or whatever other way you can research or find. It's a progression. It progressively develops, and it's really, really cool. It's possible. You can do it. So besides that, having a mentor is very helpful. Reading books about this stuff is very helpful. And this is very, very important. I'm going to end on this note. Having some type of verification method with what you're being told. It's so easy to let our egos get in the way of what we want to hear and trying to predict what a spirit is going to say. To be like, oh, I understand. I got it. Like, no, you gotta let it flow. In most cases, like this still happens to me today. You will only receive like 3 words, sometimes only 1 word at a time when you are channeling. So you have to trust the process. And it's nice when you're writing, because then you can kind of see at the end like how everything makes sense. Everything came together, even though in the moment you're like, I'm saying all these words. Like, you gotta trust it. I promise you're gonna be shocked looking at the paper or listening to the recording afterwards and being like, oh my gosh, this was actually a coherent message. Like, yes, that's how it comes through. So, because like we don't know what they're going to say. We can just hear what they are saying, just like any other conversation. So that is huge. But as I was saying, verification, muscle testing, or a pendulum. Those are the 2 most effective ways that I personally know about to verify. If you have another medium with you, you could also say like, hey, I sensed this. Did you also sense this? Or like, even better, like just so you're not like planting ideas in each other's heads, maybe ask like, hey, what's their hair color? Let's say it at the same time, 3, 2, 1, brown, or like whatever. Stuff like that. If you have somebody else with you, you can kind of be like, oh, yes. We're feeling the same thing, then more than likely it is correct. But if you're by yourself, muscle testing with your fingers, your hands, or your pendulum to make sure that what is being said, like what I do is I go sentence by sentence, or I'll channel a paragraph and stop and use my pendulum or my muscle testing to be like, what's the specific incantation I say? This message that I just channeled from the true full name of the person or full name of the deity or the entity or whatever is fully accurate and correct and true. And if the answer is yes, then it is. So that's a really big thing, because you know what? I will say, even because I am a clairsentient psychic medium, which means that all of my information on the niche level, the specific ability I was born with was to interpret energy through feelings. All of my information, I get it and I picture it as if I'm reading a book. So, and over time, it's become extremely accurate. I can tell a lot of different details about somebody or something. And so, even with people who I call seers, people who are born with the ability to just see like plain as day entities, they can present themselves in any way that they want to, depending on their power level. So even if you're seeing something in front of you, you have to make sure that it's not just an illusion that that entity is placing on top of itself. That's like very, very important. So verification applies to everybody. no matter if you are clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, claircognizant, whatever. So I really hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, or if crazy stuff is happening, or if you just really, really want somebody to talk to, please feel free to message me on Instagram or send me an email. I'd be more than happy to help you, because I know what it's like. I do. I really know what it's like. But I hope that these tips were helpful. I'm wishing you guys a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you soon.